Hey, he's back. Give me a high kick. Still working on that flexibility, but we all got to get the blood pumping if the Panthers want to beat this guy. Coming up after the break, we take a look at the Panthers' plan to stop number 12. If there's one thing everyone knows about golf etiquette, it's this. Shh, be quiet. The last thing you want to do when a golfer is teeing off is make any noise. Otherwise, it won't bode well for you or anyone else. So imagine you're walking to the tee at the 16th hole, par 3, at the Waste Management Open, and you're greeted by all of this. Thousands of fans surrounding your every move, but around here, there's no etiquette to be found. No. Instead, it actually sounds like this. And that is why it's called the loudest hole in golf. Good luck to all you golfers out there. And if you're going to ask for more noise like ASU alum John Rahm did right here, you better pull through. The crowd getting rowdy before he tees off. He steps up about 163 yards out, a straight line, looking good, and lands within just feet of the cup, and you know the crowd is loving it. Rahm would actually go on to birdie the hole in front of the thousands of fans, and of course, once he makes this putt, he wants to hear it from everyone in attendance. One more, I would do the same thing. He finished the round at 13 under, but this, you can only experience something like this in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Phoenix Open. You gotta love it. So you're sitting way up there inside US Bank Stadium, section 331, row 19 at Super Bowl 52. That's going to cost you a pretty penny. More than $3,100 to be able to catch the Patriots and Eagles in action. Actually, ticket sales up 63% from last year's Super Bowl. So, instead, it's better to probably stay at home and watch these two quarterbacks, Nick Foles and Tom Brady, from the couch. But what a difference between these two quarterbacks. Foles starting in his first ever Super Bowl, while Tom Brady looking for his 6th ring. And don't forget, this man, he's 40 years old, a chance to become the oldest to ever win a Super Bowl if the Pats could get the job done last night. So here we go, Eagles and Patriots, and what a ride this was. For Notre Dame, they've had the luck of the Irish on their side all season long, but they would need some more of it if they wanted to stay in contention for a national championship. And with their 6th-ranked rushing offense facing Wake's 88th-ranked rushing defense, you'd have a feeling they'd find their own pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now, this isn't anywhere near us at all in Greensboro, North Carolina, but isn't it so pretty to look at? That rainbow was very nice, but Wake's playing the gridiron, not so much. The second quarter, after a Tampa Bay field goal kicking off, Damiere Byrd. Watch the young man fly. Birdman shaking off would-be tacklers, and a franchise record 103 yards to the house for the kickoff return touchdown. For a football fan, then you know those two men right up there, Case Keenum and Nick Foles, are the starting quarterbacks for both the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. But their journey to get to that point has been a long and winding road. Keenum spent 2 years with the Houston Texans as their starter before being traded to the Rams. But the irony here is that Nick Foles was the Rams starter in 2015, and Keenum was his backup for one season. Foles was then traded to the Chiefs as a backup, and then a year later, both men somehow found themselves the starter on opposite teams in the NFC Championship game. It's Keenum versus Foles. Hey, psst, please win. If so, I get a nice big bonus next season. Yep, he sure does. A Wolfpack win, and head coach Dave Doran would get an automatic 1-year extension and a $50,000 bonus. If only we had that kind of deal in our contract, huh? But the road to win number 8 in the year against the Tar Heels was not an easy one by any means. Early on, UNC wanted their own bonus, which in their eyes was a 4th win on the season, and it looked pretty promising. You see that? Your parents ever give you that look growing up? Report card in the mail? Parents hit me with that. Crashed my car in the garage? Better believe my dad looked like that. But the Duke Blue Devils losing 6 straight and must win the next 2 games to become bowl eligible? That describes it all. Nothing like a little pressure, huh? Hosting the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Okay, so we know who that is, but do you know who this is? At first glance, I'm not sure who you would even say, but yes, it's Case Keenum, the backup turned starter, who now joins just Brett Favre and Dante Culpepper as the only Vikings quarterback to play 4 straight games with a passer rating above 100. But don't forget about that guy. He's pretty good, too. Cam Newton is currently leading the league in yards per carry for quarterbacks, while the Vikings defense allows the fewest rushing yards for quarterbacks, so this will not be easy. NC State fans, go ahead. Give yourself a hand. After the way this team's played, they deserve it. Then you have this true fan. Not sure exactly what she's doing, but you got to love the emotion for her team. Can you imagine if she were watching this segment right now? Girl, you made it. But the real reason I'm showing all of this is because the hype for the Wolfpack is real, and rightfully so, as they earn their highest AP ranking since 2003, a season-high 7 ranked teams, including 4. After nearly 2 decades on the track, a 2-time Daytona 500 winner and known as one of the most beloved drivers in the history of NASCAR, that legend up there is finally calling it a career. As much as yesterday was about the final 4 drivers in the NASCAR playoffs, 88's goodbye was an emotional one for a man who touched so many over the years. And there he is, Dale Earnhardt Jr., making his way to the track, waving to the thousands of fans in attendance. There's nothing quite like hitting the course with your buddies, right? I see Ricky Fowler here. I just wonder what he's got in that drink right there. We'll leave that on the side. We don't have to talk about that. But the only difference for me and my buddies is that we usually aren't celebrating. We're just always looking in the woods for our golf balls, and we never find them. The President's Cup wrapped up this weekend, and it was practically every top-tier golfer you can imagine on just one single course in the U.S.
Take a look behind us. It probably looks like 2 ordinary high school athletes practicing in their gym.
But in fact, it is much more than that. In this week's edition of 2's Top Athlete, our Luke Lyddon takes us on their journey to reaching 1,000 career points.
One look at Faith Price on the hardwood, and you know she's got game. But it didn't always used to be that way.
People always used to tell me that I could be good in basketball and stuff, so I tried it out. I was terrible.
So she tried, struggled, and instead, she danced. Pink tutu and all, not afraid to show off her inner ballerina. Jump ahead years later, though, she had to make a near impossible choice.
And I've been dancing all my life, so it was the hardest decision ever. So 4th grade, I picked basketball.
So Faith and her father, Frederick, were all in, practicing every single week through the good and the bad.
When we're at the gym, we fight and argue and everything else, but it's all worth it now.
Until the success followed. Oh, and it did.
Before our 7th grade nationals, we used to shoot at 6 in the morning every single morning. We ended up winning that nationals in 7th grade with my AU team, and I appreciate him for pushing me because I see where it's getting me now.
Now Price, a junior at Southwest Guilford High School, accomplishing a school record faster than anyone else since 1979, scoring her 1,000th career point on January 12th, 2018. And the first person to know? Dad.
He was the first person I told, and we were going to keep it a surprise, but I couldn't.
But what if I told you she wasn't the only one to join the 1K club in the same month?
I was in disbelief. I didn't realize I was this close. I mean, I knew I was close to 1,000, but I didn't know it would be this soon.
Meet Southeast Guilford junior Kristen Roberts, a ball in her hand ever since she was 3 years old, all thanks to Mom.
She pushes me the most, whether I like it or not.
So 2 weeks after Faith earned this special team gift, it was Kristen's turn. A photo frame of all the memories made along the way up until her 1,000th point.
I feel really good about it. And then again, it was really unexpected.
While Mom was proud, she also had one exception to the celebration.
A cavity the day before, so she wouldn't let me get on ice cream. I got it the next day.
But ice cream or not, and shot after countless shot in the practice gym, both women proving they are more similar than it looks. Welcome to the club. Congrats to both women on incredible careers up to this point. I also had to ask both of them who would win in a one-on-one matchup, and you'll get a kick out of their answers. All you have to do to hear that is go on my Twitter page, just search Luke_Lyddon. I promise it's worth the time.